Well, hello everybody. Good evening on this sunny Michigan evening. I think we're live. Let me just wait a second and make sure that we are live. Hi everybody, it's sunny today in Michigan and I am here to present another handout for everybody to download. Tonight's topic is going to be snack solutions. So stay tuned because there is going to be a show and tell and I'm going to show you what I picked out of my pantry and my fridge today. So let me just start off by introducing myself. If some of you don't know me, I'm Lisa Mislevy. I'm an integrative registered dietitian, which means that I am not your conventional dietitian. I don't necessarily follow the typical guidelines of, the old ways of thinking about nutrition, like low-fat dieting and calorie counting is the only way to lose weight and things like that. It's much more holistic in nature. When I talk to patients, I look at the root cause of what's going on. We talk a ton about gut health because we know the gut is connected to everything else in the body, your mental state, your autoimmune issues that you might have, your immune health, your skin, just anything you can think of really always comes back down to the gut. And we've known this for thousands of years because different civilizations have worked on the gut and seen great things happen in other areas. And now we have all this awesome research-based science to show us that it's real. So what we've been seeing is actually legitimate. So anyway, that's what I do. I do virtual nutrition consultations. If you go to my website, you could see more about that and what I do there. But what my favorite thing is to do is to teach. I love talking about nutrition and all the things I've learned over the years for myself, for my family, how I apply it to a real life, and what I see work for my patients. So I love sharing that with everybody because it just makes you more successful and it makes me feel better to know that I'm helping people figure food out. It's not that complicated, but yet it's been made very complicated, and I think it's everybody putting their 2 cents in that's really blown it into this, out of proportion monster that it is now. So I just want to take little bite-sized pieces and make it easy to understand and take the fear out of it, basically. Okay, so tonight's topic is going to be snacks. I like to start my Facebook Lives with one fun fact. Today's kind of like a sad/funny fact. So I don't know if you've seen those Paleo or Keto rolls that are out there where they're like bread. I mean, there's lots of recipes for lots of versions, but there's one that I really love, and I have the recipe of it on my website under the free handout tab. And it's, I forgot what I named it, if it was Paleo roll or low carb roll or keto roll, one of those. You'll find it's the only roll on there. And it's this pretty brown little circle roll with, I like to use everything bagel seasoning on it. So I used to use this psyllium husk powder, which is one of the main important ingredients in it. And I ordered it and I got the Now brand. And it worked fine this whole time. So I ran out finally after a year. And I got a new brand, and I should have grabbed that bag, which I did not. But I was warned and forgot this when I bought it, but that sometimes using different psyllium husks will cause your food to turn purple. So now I have purple rolls, and I can't say that it's healthier like eating an eggplant, getting all the phytonutrients that turn it purple. This was just the psyllium hulls. I don't know why it reacted like that in the fridge. Or in the oven. I'm not sure if it's going to be good or not, but anyway, it's funny. I have purple bread today, so be careful what you buy. I have to say, what worked for me before was the Now brand. It was an orange bag, and they actually have it at the Vitamin Shop store. So if you have that by you and you want to get it and try it, delicious bread, delicious rolls. And they're gluten-free. They're just made with almond flour, psyllium hulls, egg whites, apple cider vinegar, which you can omit if you have candida or mold issues. You want to avoid vinegar. And that's basically it. Seasoning. It's really good, really easy. So there's the fun fact. Let's get on to the good stuff. Okay, So snacks is a huge topic in my office, and I'm looking at my handout here because this is what you're going to get at, well, I want to say at the end of this, but the link might be posted right now. I'm not sure where that went because I did fill that out. So either now or at the end, you'll be able to get this copy for yourself to reference. And I would do that because you can see the brand names on there of the foods that are currently out in stores and online that you can order that I think are helpful. And within each kind, like if I list a specific nut that I like right now, it really means like any nuts are great. Okay, so we'll go through this, but this is what you're going to get tonight. And first I want to talk a little bit about snacks here. Okay, so snacks are a great thing. However, if you're hungry all the time in between meals, it's really your body's way of telling you that maybe you didn't eat enough, or maybe you did not organize your macros well at your previous meal. Okay, so for example, if you eat lunch and you are hungry an hour after, or you're craving something sweet, or it's even like 2 hours after and you're hungry all over again, like you didn't even eat lunch, that is a huge hint that you did not eat a balanced meal before that. So you really want to revisit how you're eating. So maybe start writing things down, keep a journal, track things in Carb Manager. I love that app. I also have a download for how to use that app in my free handout tab on my website. But that'll tell you, like, how are you eating? Are you eating enough fat with each meal? Because really having enough fat, having enough protein, and having enough non-starchy vegetables at every meal, minus breakfast. I mean, it's kind of hard to get like a side salad in there. I mean, it doesn't have to be that. It could be anything. But making sure you have those three things present, at least at lunch and dinner, is really like your guarantee of having a great day. As far as hunger, and not like battling this, willpower of like, am I going to eat it? Am I going to not? Am I going to do good today? Am I going to fight it? Because that struggle gets old fast, and eventually, you fall apart, and you're pushing your kids out of the way. I keep using children as an example. I don't want to push any children. Maybe I've been home too long, but yeah, you might start doing naughty things just to get your hands on a snack. So we don't want to get there, okay? We want to have enough to eat, have a well-balanced meal so that you can maybe make it to the next meal. I mean, that's really the goal, especially if you're trying to lose weight, especially if you're diabetic and have some insulin resistance going on, or even if you're not diabetic, if you're pre-diabetic, or you're just not sure, but you think you might have some insulin resistance going on, or you've had labs done to show you that. Fasting a little bit, getting a little bit hungry in between meals is the best way to help kind of reset those things. And also your hunger hormones. It's a great way to help balance or reset those hunger hormones a bit, is to have a good balanced meal, plenty of fat and protein and non-starchy vegetables so that you're satisfied. Okay, so it can hold you over. I'm just going to look a little bit here on my page because I can't, with this new Facebook Live, I can't really tell like who is joining my video, if I have anybody on here. Maybe not. Okay, wait, let me do this. Nope, I don't know. We'll just see. But if you're on here, let me know so I can see where people show up at. Yeah, I don't even know. Okay, so anyway, let's start going through some of the snacks. Let's start with the fridge ones first. So this is one that I think I pointed out my first Facebook Live 2 weeks ago, and it is the Too Good yogurt, okay? And this is something that I would keep at home in the fridge. It can stay a while. I bought this last week, and it expires, well, because I'm like doing something now, I can't like see what's, here we go, July 13th. So this is good like 4 or 5 weeks. This is great to keep in the fridge. It's great insurance of for a snack, and that's something I'm going to talk about later too, is interchanging snacks and meals. But I love this yogurt. It's great for any meal of the day. Don't just think about it as a snack. It can be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Depends. And if you're preparing food for other people, if you're not, you can do anything you want. So I love that yogurt, and they have a few flavors. that is a dairy product, so it will not be appropriate for every diet. If you're paleo, you won't want to do that. If you're paleo but you can tolerate some dairy or you have some dairy, that's fine for you. If you're keto, this is fine. If you are low FODMAP but you are introducing some low lactose yogurts, that will be fine for you. If you're AIP, autoimmune paleo, this will not work for you. And if you're low carb, yes, it will work for you. Okay, those are the main diets that I tend to work with. So that's what I'm talking about. Okay, Siggi's. This is definitely a brand I love, and you want to get this particular shape of it because it is the full fat version of their yogurt. They do have the taller one, which is what you find most commonly in stores, but it's this little shorter, squattier one that is going to be the full fat, and that's what I want you to have. So every time you have a snack, this is not on the handout, so pay attention. Every time you do have a snack, I want it to have fat included. And even some protein would be great, but even if it's just fat, that's ideal because that's what's going to keep you full and satisfied. So even if you have something a little bit sweet and has fat included, that is ideal. So if you have some raspberries, maybe could you have some homemade whipped cream with it, or some all-natural organic grass-fed whipped cream or something like that with it, because it will it'll balance out the sweet, but it will keep you full and satisfied, so it doesn't trigger that whole craving thing of sugar and sweetness. Okay, so Siggi's is a brand that I love, and you can find that almost anywhere. Today I was at a grocery store where they had an olive bar, so you can see here that you can find some fun things at the olive bar. So there's feta cheese, there's olives, those are Kalamata, these are green olives, there's a black olive. So basically what I'm getting at here is any kind of an olive bar is a great place to stop because all of those things are going to be low carb, right? The snacks we want to pick should always be low carb, higher in healthy fats. No matter what diet you follow, it should always aim towards that because it's going to prevent blood sugars from getting too high. It's going to prevent cravings where you might get out of control or crave something else later, and it's going to help keep you full. Okay, so and it keeps inflammation down. I mean, if you've heard any of my other lives, you know that I'm going to always talk about a lower carb diet, keeping blood glucose levels low, which will automatically reduce the inflammation in your body and just make everything feel better and work better. Okay, so anything at the olive bar is going to be great. They have like the mushrooms, they have like peppers, and as long as you can handle some vinegar type items, then you'll do fine with these. So I like that, keeping it in the fridge, and they stay a while, and it's something, even if you have a salty tooth, instead of maybe going towards a bag of chips, stop in that jar and have a few bites of those things because it's salty and satisfying. Alright, so moving on, I have nut selections. This is one of my new favorites now. I love everything bagels, but I don't eat gluten, I don't eat bagels at all. Because it's just so many carbs, and I don't feel great after that, and it really gets me craving things, even if it's a gluten-free bagel. So I love the everything mix that Trader Joe makes, and now I think other companies make it too. But then at Target, they have this new brand called Good and Gather. You'll find that at Target, and they have made cashews with everything bagel mix on it. Now the only thing I don't love about this is that they use a vegetable oil. It says peanut oil, and if it were that, it would be okay, but it also says there's cottonseed, soybean, and or sunflower seed oil. So that would be the naughty part, but I also believe that, we can't be perfect and we can't live perfect, and so maybe just tiny handfuls every now and then are going to be fine. And if it really gets your hankering, under control for that flavor or a salty thing, you get the fat from the nuts too and some protein. So I think it's a perfect snack. So, so you just can't go through the whole bag. I bought this bag 10 days ago, and this is, how far I've gotten, and I have just little bits every day. So I love that snack. That's on the list, on the handout. Another nut snack. I'm not incredibly in love with these, but Kroger has it. It's their Simple Truth brand, and they have some flavored nuts. They have apple cinnamon, I think is probably my favorite. They also have a maple butter one. I've been chopping these up and putting them in my yogurt because it gives it a little flavor, but there's no sugar in these, so there's no added sweetness. It's just flavoring. And again, there's a tiny bit of vegetable oil in here, so not ideal. You can flavor your own nuts. Absolutely, I have bought raw nuts in the past, and I have flavored my own nuts with seasoning, and like I'll use a butter or an avocado oil and just kind of roast my own, so I know exactly what oil I'm using, and don't have to worry about hurting myself, by having too many things that have vegetable oils in them. So look up recipes. Go on Pinterest. There's tons of things. There's delicious nuts you can make up there. I've made Cajun mixed nuts. I've done rosemary and olive oil pecans. You can do anything. There's a lot of blends. So enjoy the nuts. Let's see. Oh yes, here in the nut family. On my handout, I'm going to talk about the Justin's nuts. And then comparable to them, and there's lots of brands of these now. People have caught on to this. But there's the RX brand, and they have all these flavors. They have maple almond butter, they have vanilla almond butter, and they have a honey cinnamon peanut butter one I had the other day. So these are really good. They're expensive. It kind of bothers me to spend $1.20 or whatever they are wherever I'm shopping. So I try to wait for them to go on sale. But this $1.20 is also, I have to think like this. It's also better than stopping at Starbucks for $5 and getting a sugar-laden drink. It's better than falling apart later and getting a dozen donuts and eating them. So I think of this money spent on these nicer treats as sort of a guarantee that I'll do well, and I'll do better than if I didn't have them, So I could pass these up, but then I'll get home, and then I'll be snacky, and then I might reach for something I wish I wouldn't have normally. Like today, I made the kids gluten-free chocolate chip cookies. So they had that, and it looked good coming out of the oven, and when I took a few out and they crumbled all over my hand and I had chocolate on my hands, it could have been a weak moment, but instead I went for the nuts, or I went for one of these, or I forgot what I actually did. I think I didn't have anything, or you can go get some cheese or something else, but it's good to have the snacks available to you so that it's a prevention mechanism. Okay, another thing and these, by the way, these are mostly, they'll have almond ones and they'll have peanut butter ones, so you have to see what sort of plan you're on. If you're on Paleo, you're going to want to get the almond butter version of product, like the Justin Nuts has peanuts and almonds as well, so it just depends on which diet you're following. If you're doing low carb or keto or anti-inflammatory, these are going to be fine for you. Low FODMAP, they're not going to work because these have dates in them, and that could be a problem, although it's a half a date, so it might not. It just depends how sensitive you are, how big your problem is that you're dealing with. Okay, same thing with the other nuts. Those are pretty much fine on any plan, unless you're doing low FODMAP. Then you have to count your nuts, which I know sounds silly or dirty, depending on what you're thinking, but you do have to limit how much you have of plant foods if you're on a low FODMAP diet, because that will make you more gassy and bloated and cause more problems. Alright, moving on to the next snack, we have the mini kind bars. These are nice because they are only, I think, on average 8 grams of carbs each. So it's still very low carb, but you get protein and fat with this snack, and it's easy to carry. It goes in your purse. Everybody pretty much likes these. You would have to read each version of these. Each flavor is going to be allowed on different diets, depending on what diet you're on. So the mini kind bars are definitely easy to keep around and work for most people. If you're keto, though, this probably isn't going to be a great idea. But I like keeping these around. And then the kids end up snatching a lot of these things from me, so my first feeling is like, that cost a lot of money, I hope you eat it all. And then it turns out that they end up really loving these things, so then I have more people eating healthy in my house. So, win-win, win-win, all the way around. Alright, moving on, another snack. I can't say that I, in particular, would eat this. However, it is really healthy. Sardines. My husband will eat these, and I commend anyone who loves them and will eat them, because I will tell you, on almost every food list I've ever looked at, that if you are looking for like food highest in whatever nutrient, sardines are always going to be at the top of that list. So if you want to know what food has the highest omega-3 content, sardines. If you want to know what food has the highest calcium content that's not a dairy food, sardines. It's endless. I forget everything that is in them that is wonderful, but if you like them, go for it. So don't worry about sodium or any of the things, the oil, the fat. It's all good for you, and this beats just about anything else that you could eat. And of course, it's a giant load of protein and healthy fat, especially if you get it in extra virgin olive oil. This one is a Mediterranean style one, so it's got some extra flavors to it, but this also is an excellent snack. I promise you won't crave anything after this, because you know you're going to be all fishy. Alright, moving on to something more delicious. Dark chocolate. This makes a great snack. I have two flavors here, because now they're coming up with all these kinds that have different flavors in them. So I would want it to be a higher content, a cacao content. So this one doesn't say on the front what it is. I'm sure it says on the back here somewhere, but it's probably a little lower. Oh, here it is. Oh, no? I don't think that's right. So anyway, it's a little bit of caramel and sea salt, the Lindt one, but it's just what I could find at the store, so I picked it up. 1 square at a time is 4 grams of carbs. You know, not a big deal, but it's so satisfying if you want chocolate. So another great one, I think, is this 85% cacao dark chocolate. Can you see it there? It's private selection. It comes from Kroger, but it's really nice and creamy, and you really only need a square or two. They're 3 grams each in carbs. And this really can help you, stop craving a sweet. So even if you have a whole meal and you do want a quick little something sweet after, have a square of these. You can't really eat the whole bar. At least that's what I find. If it was a milk chocolate bar, I think you could do a lot more damage. But it's dark chocolate, so I feel like it's rich and heavy, and you can only go so far with it, and you feel satisfied. This other product that I really love, it's by The Real Renee. She's someone that I know, and she has let me and my family try her granola, and she may have other products at this point. And she told me that her logo has changed a little bit since she gave me this. But if you go on her website, therealrenee.com, I'll put a link after this live so that you can just click on it and find it. But she's making this granola, and it was inspired by her following the autoimmune paleo diet, the AIP diet, and she did great with it. And a lot of them are based with tiger nuts, which is totally acceptable for just about any plan. So she has different flavors, and they are really, really good. I really love them. I like putting it on my yogurts. I like putting it on my dairy yogurt or my dairy-free yogurt. It just depends on what plan I'm following at what time. But this is really delicious, and if I were you, I would look at her website and see how you could get your hands on some. My kids, by the way, stole the chocolate chip version, and they're all allergen-free too, her products, by the way. So, yeah, my kids stole that. Renee, if you're watching, it's gone. I barely got any, so I'm left with the original, and, that's all right. I love my kids, so they can do that. Okay, and then the last two that I have with me are protein powders. These are huge. I gotta say, at first, when people ask me what protein powder to use, my first answer is always going to be eat food. Just eat food, because it's, in its most natural state, and it's going to have everything you need in it. And you don't have to worry about the quality of how it's manufactured and produced. But sometimes you just need something quick and easy. Sometimes you just want a smoothie. Sometimes you just want to bring a portable lunch to work, or breakfast. So I completely understand and agree. And now that I found these awesome brands, this is all new, all the better versions of protein powders. Hey, baby girl, I'm glad you like them. When you add these to whatever your base is, it's going to immediately beef up your meal or snack or whatever you're having, okay? So the first one that we really probably love the most in this house is called Pure Paleo by Designs for Health. It is a bone broth powder, so if you're vegetarian or vegan, this isn't going to work for you. This brand has other versions though, but this one is perfect for anybody and everybody, and I've never had a patient not tolerate it. I've literally worked with people that have some of the worst GI problems I've ever seen, but this is such a gentle product. It's made from grass-fed beef, and it is processed in such a way that it doesn't damage the protein structures, and it's extremely well tolerated in the gut. They're broken down protein molecules, you know what I mean? It's not like eating a hunk of meat. So if you have Crohn's or colitis or IBS or any version of IBD, this is going to be well handled because it's just basically already, I don't want to say completely pre-digested, but very close and easy on you. And there's not fillers that are going to bother you. There is stevia in this. They used to have something else to sweeten it, but now it's stevia. So if you don't like stevia, I don't like stevia, but I don't really taste it in this at all. It just tastes a little bit sweet. I would still encourage you to try it because I think you'll be surprised. So they have vanilla and chocolate, and you can order this from my website. I give everybody 20% off, especially during COVID right now, and everyone getting hit financially. So yeah, you can order this yourself and have it shipped right to your door. But it's excellent. You can blend it in the blender with frozen fruit and just make it a smoothie. Of course, you always want to have fat too. So this is the protein. The fruit would be your carbs, and then you want to add a fat like coconut oil or half of an avocado or a handful of cashews or something to thicken it and add fat. You could put chia seeds, whatever you want. That would make an excellent snack or meal. But I love that one. And then I also alternate it with this by the same company, Designs for Health, and it's whole body collagen. Again, it's made from grass-fed beef protein, but it's extracted from a different part of the animal, its tissues, and so it's going to provide you with a different array of amino acids that are going to help build your tissue. Because remember, you're made of collagen. That is the scaffolding of your body, and then minerals fill it in and make you who you are. But it's the collagen that gets depleted if we don't eat these things. We used to eat, it might sound so gross, but we used to eat nose to tail of an animal, which meant you got it all, even just down to the basic chicken broth, chicken soup, but made with the whole animal. You're going to get all of the nutrition and the collagen when you do it like that. So I don't know if you had grandma who put the chicken feet in, or all the other parts that are unmentionable but necessary. All of that contributed their amino acids to the soup, which you ate, and then your body uses that, so it's going to re-cushion your joints, and it's going to, lift your skin so it doesn't sag, and, help replenish everything made of collagen, which is everything. So you can conveniently get it in a powder form. Of course, I always think food form is best because you can't really compete with nature, but if it's inconvenient or you're unable to make a soup or it's summer and you're not wanting soup, you can have a collagen powder available. So I alternate between the protein powder and the collagen powder because then you get all the amino acids. Oh, it says, sorry, playing the video. What happened? Did I lose? Uh-oh, if you can see me, I can't see you. Oh, bummer. I know I'm recording, but I can't see myself. And I don't know how to fix it. Alright, well, I'm just going to stop then because that was the last of my show and tell anyway. Alright, so look at my link and it's going to have the download available for you. So you can get your handout of all the things that I just mentioned. And you can go and shop for these too. And look on Amazon. There's a lot of good deals on Amazon for these things as well, the things that can be shipped, okay? But if you want the 2 protein powders that I just mentioned, they're going to be available on my website under Relevate. It is an online ordering platform for supplements, and you get everything at a discount, which is nice. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week.